shut you up so they can lie about you. So they shut me up. Then they did the massive media push to try and attempt to lie about me. But despite that, the majority of comments regarding me are still positive. The majority of people believe and understand that this ban is unfair. And if these companies have any degree of professionalism, they're analyzing this in real time and they're understanding that.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's your boy, Mahesh Chocolingo. All right, so we got another video. There seems to be a common theme coming up with me, and that is me, myself, being shadow banned and censored. Even small, tiny little old me. I seem to be coming across a lot of stories lately of people who are more successful than me who are getting banned and shadow banned. And this should be an indicator for everyone out there of the times we are living in right now. And he gave us a methodology that the powers that be, and I would like to imagine that the powers that be the ones that are telling the companies, social media companies, what to do. Okay? Everybody's got a boss above them. So, like he just said, first they shut you up, and then they run a media machine against you. It's what they did with Trump. It's what they did with everyone who had a dissenting opinion within the last 4 years. And it escalated within the last 1 year when a certain administration took office. I'm not calling names. You can think for yourself. I personally have been banned and had to work my way back. Hundreds and hundreds of creators and content creators and YouTubers and social media platform users have also been banned for many reasons that were often not even explained. So let's get into it, folks. Let's watch this video by Patrick Bet-David, his interview with with Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, one of the most Google search names over the internet today. So let's go ahead and get into it, and we'll get a reaction to the interview. All right, let's get started. And here we go.
They did not tell me. They did not send me an email, no correspondence. I certainly didn't break terms of service. I guess that's why they couldn't send me an email and explain why. Nobody told me, whether it was YouTube that banned me or Meta that banned me. They banned me instantly and forever without any kind of correspondence. They've not told me why. They've not told anyone what I did. The media machine, in synchronization with the ban, we can call that coincidence if you want to believe in such things, came out with some kind of bullshit explanation that I'm misogynistic or some garbage. But the actual social media companies themselves provided no explanation at all, no correspondence at all. They just deleted me. That was it.
Now, are you doing anything about it? Are you having your legal team trying to find out why they did that, or you're not taking any action right now?
I do have a lot of things happening behind the scenes. However, and perhaps I'm becoming optimistic in my old age, but I believe that in due course, the social media companies will realize the mistake they made. I think that, and like I said, I don't have intimate knowledge of the workings of social media companies, but assuming they are semi-professional to any regard, and that is a big assumption, but let's assume they're professional. That means that when they ban somebody like me, especially the most Google search person on the planet, they must have teams which are analyzing in real time the response to said action, right? Mm-hmm. They should have people sitting there on the ground analyzing. Now, they attacked me with their media machine because first they shut you up so they can lie about you. So they shut me up. Then they did the massive media push to try and attempt to lie about me. But despite...
Yes, he's right. The reason I started making this content is because I have people on Facebook who, whenever I talk about being censored or being shadow banned, they would laugh at me or make snarky comments that, you're a conspiracy theorist and you don't know what you're talking about, because they're on the side of the voices that are being perceived as the mainstream. So when they hear you complain about being shadow banned or censored or blocked, they think it's funny because it hasn't happened to them yet, right? Or they think it's justified because they think that fact checkers are actually fact checkers, when in reality, they don't understand how the business model works for fact checkers. Okay? Fact checkers are using information from the very sources we are attempting to debunk or counter or argue with or have a difference in opinion. So you can't have a fact checker who is uh, going to the very platforms that we are trying to counter, right? So, for example, CNN, New York Post, New York Times, Washington Post, all these articles are coming out of all these different mainstream platforms. And then people like me get on there and we want to give our opinion and give some kind of pushback based on our, to create conversation around it, also to create content. That's why we're content creators. Okay. And what you have happening is these fact checkers are going to the very institutions that you are trying to debate against and then using that to shut you down and get you kicked off the platforms. See, we're living through very sensitive times, folks. Censorship is real. It doesn't have to be a direct thing like what we see in the movies where they come in the night and they throw you in a van and they take you away. We haven't gotten there yet, thank God. Thank God there's still some semblance of a constitution in this country, and we can still fight back now. There's still time, folks, and that time is now, because if we let this snowball effect keep happening, it's going to be more than just Andrew Tate getting banned and getting kicked off. It's going to be any voice that has something to say that is in opposition to whatever the current narrative is going to pay the price. And that means our future children. Think about that. This is why it is important that you get active, be vocal, and stay vocal, and get involved with debate and argumentation and critical thinking skills. And that we try our best to teach our young ones how to use these skills so that we can create a population of people on earth who can sift, navigate, and work through problems and conflicts. That's what this is about. That's what I advocate for. And that's my brand. And I hope you understand. Let's continue the video.
Despite that, the majority of comments regarding me are still positive. The majority of people believe and understand that this ban is unfair. And if these companies have any degree of professionalism, they're analyzing this in real time and they're understanding that this makes us look very bad. People didn't believe the lie. People didn't believe what we attempted to smear this man with. Nobody is buying this narrative. And this is going to have a negative effect on us for a very, very long time, because when you're in charge of the world, which they are, as soon as you're no longer seen as just and fair, you're seen as tyrannical. And once you're seen as tyrannical, then there's going to be some kind of mass movement against you. So if I was a social media executive, I would sit and I would analyze the data and I would say, listen, guys, we will have a monopoly. We want to retain our monopoly. Let's be smart here. Being known as tyrannical amongst the public consciousness across the entire planet is going to make it very difficult for us to hold our monopoly for a longer period of time, as opposed to being seen to be fair. Even if we're biased, we must be seen as fair.
Sure.
As soon as we're seen as tyrannical, right, that's when the revolution. Look at Ceausescu. As soon as you're a tyrant, that's when everyone hits the streets.
Yep.
So I think that if they have any kind of serious data monitoring and if they have any kind of serious business professionalism, they are now talking in dark rooms, understanding that this has played out very badly for them. And if they intend on keeping their monopoly into the future, that they need to change something. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but we will see.
Who was the first one to take you off?
Meta.
Meta was first. So
Meta.
Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook, Insta, bam.
Okay. And then it was a domino effect.
Yeah, so Meta took me down. So it's quite interesting, actually. I had a YouTube channel for a while. It was never so large. I had 738,000 subscribers. It took me a long time to build it up. I got a strike on YouTube, which prevented me from posting. It's got a strike. No big deal. The next day.
Hey, this is important because I'm also going through the same thing. Meta motivated you, or me in this case, to upload a certain amount of reels and to get a certain amount of watch hours so that I can start earning an income on Meta. So I went ahead and I started creating reels and I just dumped them. I I just took everything I had off of TikTok because I wasn't making any money off of TikTok, because TikTok also did the same thing to me, where I started getting views, I started going viral, and then boom, all of a sudden they demonetized me. And so what I started noticing was that the popular videos, the stuff that people wanted to see and that were giving me likes and giving me views for, was demonetized, meaning that they're trying to de-incentivize me, the creator, from creating a certain kind of content because it doesn't fit a certain narrative. No problem. I went over to Instagram, started doing the same thing, started building a following, doing everything I need to do. I was going great. I was meeting the requirements to start earning an income on my dashboard. And the very day I qualified with the little green check mark to make an income, and I clicked on professional dashboard, boom, you have been de-incentivized. Money has been taken off the table now. So now you did all that work to put all that content together and to reshare and do all these things. And all this work you put into this thing to try and build your online identity, and now we're going to demonetize you. So now we've taken away your incentive to keep creating. That's fine, because I'm a forward thinker. I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking I need to at least get myself out there in the digital world, because at least if I get out there and people see me on some level, I can still find a way to build a business around that somehow. So I'm not giving up hope, but I was even motivated even harder to push my business through and to fight harder. And I picked up a cause of fighting the censorship, because now we're tugging on the string of something that's very dangerous and goes far beyond anything in the history of our Western Hemisphere. This is serious stuff, folks, right? You may not like Andrew Tate. You may not like any of the people getting banned, but this matters to you, because if you support and give consent to shut people up who you don't agree with by our governments around the world, it's only a matter of time before they come for you and your family if you happen to have a teensy weensy little disagreement with the very authority that you are supporting now. So you must wake up and realize that you may not agree with me or like me or think that I'm somebody significant or not needed in the world, as somebody once told me on Instagram. You're not a necessity, and you're not needed in the world. What kind of a language is that? That makes you compassionate? That makes you a humanist? That makes you somebody who is empathetic and cares about the world? What kind of a label would you give that a person who thinks that way? You're willing to have me thrown away and shut my voice up simply because you just don't agree with it. I'm telling you, you are a part of the creation of a world that is becoming increasingly dangerous by the days, counting down, right? So that's why I'm going to start showing you a lot of different people like this who are getting shut up, who have brought opposition to whatever the mainstream is, and they're being treated this way. So you need to make a decision, human being, my fellow human, if you come across this. Where do you want to be in history in all of this? You know, if you go back and read Nazi Germany with the whole Hitler thing, everybody right now sits in comfort and says, we would never do that. We would never become like that. Why would we? That was heinous. It was horrible. And the people of Germany who supported such a thing, shame on them. Well, guess what? After what I saw these last 4 years of what we went through as a world together, and I saw the way people turned on each other and were willing to surrender those people to be detained by the government, I knew right away we were walking into Nazi Germany once again. And it was a gradual, cascading effect. History is about to repeat itself. I wasn't even caring about the virus. I didn't care. Literally, I'm going to tell you what I was looking at. I was looking at how you all was behaving. I was looking at how you all was treating each other. I was looking at the consequences and the cascading effects of where this will lead 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. I have a very open visual mind. I can see actions taking place in front of me and play it out and see where the conclusion will end. That's what I get scared about. That you all think you're taking this righteous path to shut up and censor those voices you don't agree with because you think it's inconvenient or it doesn't fit in with the objectives you may think you have in your mind. But what you fail to realize is that you're setting up the game for a very dangerous situation to play out in the world where you would have been complicit in making that happen. So if you are listening to me today and you don't like what I'm saying, ask yourself this. You are criticizing people for having religion, and that the dangers of religion or being in a cult is that you will hurt other human beings. Maybe you should stop and ask yourself, what kind of a religion or cult am I in that I am willing to sacrifice other human beings who I don't agree with? Just something to sit with for a second. All right? I'm not going to finish this off because I think you guys could go see it. Here it is. It's the Andrew Tate reveals the real reason he was banned. It was done by Valuetainment, Patrick Bet-David. I'm a big fan of Patrick Bet-David. I love his speaking style. I love his work, and I think he's doing a great job. I honestly wish I could work for an enterprise like his, or maybe start one like it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still in the process of discovery. I'm learning. I'm growing. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and supporting me. Love you guys so much. Those of you who have been along for the ride, thank you. Please click share, like, and subscribe. Comment down below. And if you think I'm onto something and you would like to see more content, or you would like me to talk about a particular thing, go ahead and leave it in the comments section. DM me, and we'll keep in touch. And again, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more. God bless.